Welcome to our Devos this week where we are talking about anger and making anger your ally. Anger in and of itself is not a sin, but anger often leads us to make changes in our life or take action in our life that we have been neglecting doing. Today, one of the things that anger should cause you to do, and this is a difficult work, and some of you, you're going to hear this and go, I'm not doing this. I'm just going to stay angry. It's easier just to be angry and not really examine it. When you're angry, that's a great time to assess yourself. Assess yourself. How do I mean? Well, let's give you a scenario. You are interacting with someone. Let's say it's somebody in your family. Let's say it might be somebody in the church. Let's say it's somebody that you're close friends with or one of your children. Something happens and you get that, ooh, I feel that anger. Ugh, there's something going on. And you could tell, like, your demeanor changes, your posture changes, something happens inside of you, right? You know when you're angry, you can feel it. What do you do with that? Well, this would be a good time that I would say to assess yourself and be willing to ask yourself this really difficult question. What is happening in me that is causing this anger? Are you willing to take a moment and pull the thread? Are you willing to take a moment and examine what is the source of that anger? What are you angry about? A lot of times the situation that you're angry about is really not the situation. There's something going on here. I was talking to somebody about this recently, and a lot of times when people react in an angry way, that's an opportunity for you to clarify what's going on with them. Pastor Ron has been doing a lot of this lately, and it's kind of annoying. He's reading this book about having in-depth conversations. And so a lot of times he and I will talk, and one time he said something that was kind of harder to me. This was last week. And I made a joke about it, and I was kind of nasty about it. I'm like, oh boy, I never thought about that. Wow, that sounds really wise. And he says, the tone of your response is making me think that you're not feeling safe talking about this anymore. So I just want to let you know you should feel safe. You don't have to be angry. And I was like, shut up, Ron. No one cares what you think. That's what I said. And then I felt bad, and then I cried. That's what happened. But really, what causes us to react? What causes you to snap out on your spouse? Like, what's going on there? Do you ever ask yourself that question? Do you ever really take a moment and analyze, even a moment to ask yourself the question of analysis, what's going on inside of my mind and in my heart? Jesus really gives us a good reason to want to do this. Matthew chapter 15, verse 17 through 19, he says, do you not see that whatever goes into the mouth passes into the stomach and is expelled, but what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart? If you react in anger, there's something going on here. Could be righteous, might not be. It could be something that's hurting you or bothering you that God is trying to work out, but it's coming from your heart. And this is what defies a person. For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, and slander. When our hearts are not examined, it's real easy to allow these things to fester. So that when we're bumped in the wrong way, anger becomes our default. It's because there's other things building up in there. This isn't a righteous anger. It's because it's easier to be angry than it is to admit that you're afraid. It's easier to be angry than it is to say that you feel hurt. It's easier to be angry than it is for you to admit that you are insecure about a thing. So let the anger be the tipping point for you to start to really examine what is going on inside of you. Maybe this might be the first time you ever ask yourself that type of a question. But the question is worth your time because you may just be able to turn something over to God in your heart that you've never even thought about until anger alerted you that it was a problem.